OK, to move on to a happier topic, it finally looks like London's Heathrow Airport might get a third runway. Now, there are bound to be protests, but does anyone outside of West London actually care? Well, Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson cares. Remember, in his old job as Mayor of London, he said he'd lie in front of a bulldozer rather than let the runway be built. Now he's got a bigger job, he might just forget that promise. What the story of the third runway actually shows is just how hard it is to build any large infrastructure project in modern Britain. I was a reporter on a local paper in West London back in the 60s, and airport capacity for London was a big issue then. Since then, we've had all sorts of commissions, reports and recommendations, but very little has actually happened. Even though Parliament and the government now want it and know it's needed, I still have real doubts whether the new runway at Heathrow will actually ever be built. Building projects are not a problem in Beijing, Shanghai or Hong Kong. Someone just says, do it. But in advanced democracies today, I'm afraid the not in my backyard brigade usually win.
Greg, as somebody who will be suffering sleepless nights from overflights, I really hope you're right. And that
Are you talking about you or me?
Me, and you're in Richmond, I'm in Notting Hill, I can't remember where you are.
Blackheath.
OK, well, there's going to be many,
nowhere near it.
many more flights if this happens. But what you're saying is, it's not going to happen. We're not like China. We never build things because we have judicial commissions and we have NIMBY protests and we kick infrastructure into the long grass when we should be building things. Well, I mean, look at what happens in China when they build things against the wishes of residents.
More and more people are filming what's happening to them. Here, neighbours secretly record the moment police drag an old man from his home. Minutes later, demolition teams move in to tear down their house for development.
Yes, I mean, I think if Boris lay down in front of one of those diggers, they would absolutely
There wouldn't be much
him.
left of him, would there? No, I don't think. I'd like to see him in the scoop, though.
On Heathrow, I feel really strongly this is a disastrous decision. It was always the wrong airport in the wrong place.
Where should it have been, Rach?
Gatwick.
So it's all right,
it's all right for
the people of Crawley, it's all right for the people of Horsham.
You know and I know, and Greg is going to tell us that Heathrow is only there in 1946.
It shouldn't have been there at all.
It shouldn't have been there at all, and now we're expanding it.
It is there. It is there. So let's just expand it.
It's going to destroy swathes of London.
No, but this is
pollution
and
noise.
Greg is
thousands of jobs, Rachel.
I don't care
at a
about
time
thousands
when we
of jobs.
Well, you should.
How many million people in London are going to have their lives blighted by this?
But look at even recent years. Look at the Labour government. The last Labour government decided to do this.
Yeah.
The Conservatives came out against it, and the Liberal Democrats. The Liberal Democrats have always been against it.
Yeah.
The Conservatives came out against it, largely because there were a few marginal seats that they might win, right? One of which, of course, your brother's got now is Uxbridge. And then you roll forward. Now, on getting into government, perhaps to their surprise, the Conservatives suddenly realised, actually, there was a problem about airport capacity in the London area.
Yep.
Now they're going to support this, and even Theresa May is going to support it. And I mean, she's the MP for Maidenhead, which flies right across.
Yours is solely a NIMBY argument because you're quite happy for the people of West Sussex to be blighted by noise and air pollution and traffic delays and goodness knows what.
Hold on,
but you don't want your mansion in a very affluent part of West London.
There isn't a city the size of London adjacent to Gatwick.
Her case is compelling. Jobs,
77,000 jobs,
and
Rachel.
the nation will fall by.
Yeah,
we're already.
Heathrow
is no longer the busiest airport in the world. That's Dubai. If it's not careful, it won't be the busiest airport in Middlesex.
Yeah.
Why do you want the busiest airport in the world?
Well, what's called commerce and business and keeping this country... And also, without getting June mad,
20% of flights only are
post-Brexit decision...
20% of flights only out of Heathrow are business flights. The rest are tourists.
We're not allowed a holiday?
And they add to our economy.
But when I have this argument with people in Richmond, and I'm not vehemently in favour of doing it, I'm just saying I don't think it'll happen. But when I have this argument, I say to them, were you born here? And they all came, they all moved in. Yeah. And I say, well, hang on, didn't you know there was an airport up the road? And didn't you know that it was likely to be expanded? And it really is NIMBYism.
It is.
And you've really got to say, in the end, what is in the long-term
Noise and air
interest?
pollution
Yeah,
over millions of people. It's not
Over
NIMBY.
77,000 jobs and 5,000 apprentices.
We hardly come in here every
Rachel.
week where you haven't flown somewhere. Right?
Mainly private.
Yes, mainly private.
Mainly private,
Yes, you're one of those people.
Yeah, out of Northolt.
There's hardly a week where you haven't flown somewhere, in which case...
Lucky you live round the corner.
Is it just for you, or is it... that seems to me the problem. We all want more access, we all want to fly places, we all want holidays, we all have to go there on business, and yet we're arguing at the same time there shouldn't be more airport capacity.
And you know what you're buying into when you move to that area. My sister lives right near the airport. Sorry, I have no pity. You live there, that's what you get.
That's right.
I live next to the train station.
I think
can't
you're all
complain.
mad. Do you realise that they're going to build this runway over the M25?
No, that is extraordinary.
Are you all on the living same planet as I am? I'm mad.
You mustn't pick up every strange little story that comes out.
By Chris Grayling, the Transport Secretary.
Well, building over it or under it.
My take on it is very clear. Will people be disrupted by any airport expansion? Of course they will. And will it be deeply unpleasant for all of those people affected? Yes, it will. I live on the flight path. It's a right pain in the backside, and it will get worse. It's not my dream, but it's something that, I have to accept probably will happen. I think that what you just seen in China then, my nana was forced out of her house. They did a CPO and a compulsory purchase order on my nana's house, and it was terrible. My granddad died in the street outside. My nana never even moved his jacket or his tobacco pouch or anything. She'd lived in that house, had all of her family. This purchase order was horrendous for the whole family. We thought it would kill her having to leave her home. It was awful. But she did, and life moved on. And what I think is we're in a situation, especially now that we're leaving the EU, we need to make sure that we are highly competitive within business, for example, and we need to trade as a globalised nation. So actually, when we talk about business flights, it's not just how many people are going for business flights, business meetings abroad, it's how we're exporting cargo often. So we need more air capacity. I think the shame in all of this is the fact that this has dragged on and on for decades.
Previous governments have all set their faces against it because it's crazy.
No, the Labour government didn't.
In 2003, Tony Blair okayed it.
Okay,
2003.
The government okayed it, and they knew it was a problem. And the Conservatives,
no ifs, no buts, no third runway.
No, for short-term political advantage, decided that they would put it in their manifesto that they oppose it. Now they've changed their position
because they know
it's needed.
It's needed.
Now,
it's needed for tourism. You talk about business and Brexit.
Go on holiday.
No, I'm not saying this, but you're talking about business and Brexit as if this is what Heathrow's expansion is going to do. Stansted has got tons of spare capacity. Make it in Stansted.